Hello and welcome back to the channel. With me today is Clayton and Moloto. We have them both today. So, good things for that. We will be discussing the match against Everton. So this is the Everton preview, as well as touching on just last night's game again. And, just, again, where do we go from here? It's a common question. So if you are new, please do subscribe, smash like on the video, and, comment down below. You know the basics. But first of all, before we get into the Everton game and stuff, Clayton, obviously, Moloto was here last night on the show, so I know what he has to say. But what you have to say, right? I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you think? Just your general thoughts on yesterday's game, and are you all in or are you all out?
Yesterday's game was just disgraceful as a United fan. That was nowhere near good enough. Istanbul just destroyed us, and they should have won more comfortably than 2-1, in all honesty. They were on the break so many times. Even with me just watching glimpses of the game at stages, I could see them breaking just one-on-one with one of our centre-backs and this close to getting past them. It's a very, very scary thing when we're trying to fight for a Champions League spot right now. That was nowhere near good enough performance from anybody. That first Dembaba goal was disgraceful. The tactics to put 10 men basically in the box or just outside of it, that's PE teacher mistakes, guys. That's PE teacher mistakes. You'll see our high school coaches actually know to have at least 2 people back on that halfway line. Any person with some general common sense, you have to do that, especially with the pacey play. He may be 35, but he's still somewhat pacey, guys. Don't disrespect the man like that.
Don't disrespect.
Like, what?
Like, I think it's to me it seems more like lack of tactic than Ole telling them to do that. It just seems like they weren't instructed clearly on what they have to do. A little bit of freestyles involved there, really. That's what it seems like to me.
But even that's like how 10 of you, all of you went to the box for that corner. I mean,
Mike Phelan's on the byline, not saying shit.
Mike Phelan was on the byline.
He was on the byline.
That only happens in the last 2 minutes, and you guys are losing, and even your keeper's going. But like, so early in the first half, it seems like madness, actually.
Yeah, it is madness. But yeah,
it's definitely down to tactics, and it's not good enough in the slightest. And it feels like we're running out of time with Ali for sure, and it looks like his contract's going to be up real soon, if you know what I mean. But I think it's time for Ali to leave. But nothing's going to change with the cycle. But we need that consistency right now. And like Shoni said multiple times at this point, I'd rather rebuild with Poch than with Ali.
Yeah, I think that's just what it comes down to. But that interesting to speak about last night's game, because it was horrific. And like I was going to say that this game now against Everton is not just a walk in the park. Our history against Everton is not good. We got beaten 4-1. And then the first time Oli ever played the diamond against Everton, it didn't work, and we got beaten again. And Carlo Ancelotti is known for playing possession football, wing play with the 4-3-3, standard 4-3-3, go for it. But injury crisis happening at Everton. They don't have Richarlison. They just got back Digne. They should have James Rodriguez, and I'm pretty sure there's another player missing. But I won't lie to you, I can't tell you. I think it might be Andre Gomez. So it might be Andre Gomez. Oh yeah, Coleman. The captain is out, basically. Yeah, Coleman is the captain, so he's out. So they haven't really looked good in the last few games, right? But it would be absolutely amazing if Carlo Ancelotti has the arrogance or ignorance to actually attack us, because that would play right into Ollie's hands. If I was Carlo Ancelotti, you literally say, I have an injury crisis. We haven't been playing well. There is no fans at the grounds. We have every right to sit back, low block, because they can't beat teams like that and hit them on the break. And that's how we win. So I'm expecting that from Carlo Ancelotti, personally, in that game. Right? So that's one thing. You guys think that Ancelotti, we will actually still try play his possession football, wing play, try to be the more forceful team? Or do you actually think that, just like every other manager, United's weakness is sit back, they can't do anything, and hit them on the break? They are clueless.
Yeah, no way Ancelotti is doing that. Like, he's not Pep. He's not obsessed with one playing style, and he's going to take it to his death. He's not going to do that. He's going to look at Arsenal. He's going to look at the game we lost against Palace. He's going to look at all the games we lost and see what's the most effective way to beat us.
Even the games they won.
Yeah. And they have good players. Yes, these other players are out, but they still have good players, and we are quite fragile right now. And they're going to give it to us. They're going to defensively, and they're going to throw men forward, and they're going to do what they do. And I'm afraid. I won't lie to you. I'm seriously afraid. And I feel like as much as tactics are bad, I feel like there's a feeling of resignation. I feel like Ole's starting to lose his dressing room right now, and he needs to do what he does best and galvanize them again and try manufacture a win out of nothing.
Yeah, take what you think.
That's good. That's all. Let's see how stubborn Ancelotti is. This is basically the game that will give us a bit of insight into his mind, because he plays that low block, just chill, let United do whatever they want, because it's going to take some individual brilliance to get through a low block. That's all it is. Because, like I said before, another day we don't beat RB Leipzig 5-0 because Rashi doesn't score a hat-trick from outside the box. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
You're not always going to get those chances. You're not always going to be able to run past the defense on the half line, even though it happened directly to us in the next game. But yeah, you don't always get those opportunities. We don't create enough clear-cut chances. We're very much just sit and hope somebody whoops something in from somewhere and a goal comes from it, and that's all it is. It's Greenwood shifting from his right to his left and making the defender look silly, and then putting it past the keeper, whether it be Rashford, Curler, Martial with a brilliant header last night, which we barely see. So I doubt we'll see more of those this season. And then we just have to rely on the likes of Bruno, maybe even Pogba again, to just hit those long shots.
Yeah, like I thought this idea before, but I've come to realize that it's true. If we're not playing the counter, then we're just relying on individual brilliance, really. We're relying on these players to turn up, and when they don't turn up, it's disaster.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
that's
just
I think Oli right now is in a hard situation, because what do you do, right? We all said, all of us on this channel, lots of fans said, play the diamond. It makes the most sense. It gets the best out of your players, right? And now, certainly we said that, but like I said, the majority of the fan base also, they don't like the diamond. We even said we don't like the diamond. Why would we? So yeah, let's understand. So I was literally spending whole of last night thinking, what can we do, right? And I was even going to do a special treat for you guys here, because I've got a huge ass whiteboard. So in the future, hopefully we can talk about this. But unfortunately, I don't have any whiteboard markers that work, so I'm going to go buy it today. But we'll get this. So for now, I literally just got on a piece of paper just ways, ideas. By all means, let us know in the comments below what else Oli can do, what else we can do, because we've seen the diamond's not the way. I don't think Oli can coach the diamond. I don't think he knows what he's doing, because if you try playing the diamond the last two games, and I both asked you guys, what is the formation? We couldn't say it as the diamond. We couldn't say it as 4-2-3-1. We couldn't say it. That's so, back to the basics. What is our formation? What is our formation, and what players we suit into that formation, right? So I've got two down here. One is a standard formation we see quite often. The other one is a bit of I like the look of it, but I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. It's very similar to the diamond, actually, but it's not. But now, I must say, this is going to be, what they call it, a disclaimer. That's what they call it, that's the word. This is a disclaimer. I don't think you two and a lot of United fans are going to like this formation. I don't think so. But I think it could be a way forward. And this is just my opinion. I'm just a football fan. You guys can gladly let me know, right? But we'll start off with, I don't know if you guys can see how clear this can be, but this one over here, right? This is a 4-1-4-1.
For some odd reason, I had a feeling. I was thinking he's going to come with some Bielsa formation. That's the formation Bielsa plays.
4-1-4-1 is something Bielsa plays, right? David De Gea in goal. Yeah. Luke Shaw or Telles, up to you guys. It's up to you. Lindelof and Axel, I think, is the key. Because we know, Ali has to stop with this favoritism. He has to stop with this favoritism. It's getting ridiculous. So Lindelof, Tuanzebe, we all, we want to see Tuanzebe. I think, and against, if we go up against this Everton, obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a monster in the air. Do I think Maguire is still going to beat him? No, I don't. I just have no faith in Maguire. Exactly. And he hasn't marked the striker. He's never marked the striker. It's always Lindelof or Tuanzebe or the other guy marking the striker. We've seen that. So for me, Lindelof, Axel, 100%. Wan-Bissaka, you can't drop him. Now the key to this is you need these fullbacks to stay deep, stay wide. You need them to do that. Matic is the holder. He has to play that. I know he had a shocking game last night, but he is the holder, right? And then the midfield where it's interesting, right? I put Fred right far on the left, then Pogba and Bruno in the center, Donny on the right. So Fred and Matic and Donny, I feel like, oh, I don't have my pen. Oh, here's my pen, right? So when we have the ball, obviously it's a 4-1-4-1, and we have all these. Fred can go forward, Van der Beek can go forward, Pogba, Bruno, Martial. You've noticed, right? There's no Rashford. That's where the concern is. Because I know everyone loves Rashford. I know you two love Rashford. But what's the common theme I'm noticing? Everyone's like, you've got to play Donny. Everyone's like, you've got to play Pogba. You've got to play Bruno. Do we have to play Rashford is what I'm wondering these days. Yes, Pogba's hit and miss. But Pogba has been very bad because he's been having to defend a lot of the time. So I think when you're off the ball, the 4-1-4-1 can, they can transition. Fred can come deeper. Donny can come deeper. And, that's when you're off the ball. And Tony's just left. And I think that creativity could be very interesting. So let me know what you think of that. I'm just, just give me a second. Bear with me, technical difficulties. You guys can continue talking. I just think someone's at the door. But yeah.
Okay. Look, I can see how it can help offensively. I think we'll have a lot in attack if we play that formation. But maybe it's not good me comparing it to Leeds because as Sean is saying, Fred will drop deep and all of that. But what I've seen Leeds play it, I think it's Phillips who plays in that position at the 6. Is it not? Is it Phillips, right? Sorry? Yeah. Okay, yeah. He's left-footed. He is left-footed in that position. So that'll be my only worry. But as Shani says, Fred will drop deep and Donny will drop deep. So maybe in that sense it can work. But at the same time as well, I would like some width. And I think goals. Yes, Martial scores goals. But Rashford is one of our main goal scorers. So that the two main reasons I wouldn't like that formation is one, Rash is not in it. And 2, we're playing one whole midfield. So I don't know. I'm not completely for it.
That's what I'm saying. So, but that's what I'm saying. Just like the diamond, Matic is technically our only holding midfield. Yeah. But we've seen Fred and Donny off, and I think the 3 men for me that you can't drop at the moment, right? Is definitely Martial. It's definitely Donny, and for me, I can't drop Fred. And Fred is left-footed. We've seen how tenacious he is. He's a good tackler. He releases the ball very quickly. Same like Donny, but Donny is just more perfected. Everything, his numbers are just better on stats. Yeah. He pulls it off more times. So I think Fred and Donny are wide. They're the wide players. I think Fred is a natural left footer. He's very good with his right foot, but he's a natural left footer. So I'm just thinking, all of a sudden the worth could come from Fred. It could come from Donny, and you still have Pogba and Bruno linking up. And what I like about the 4-1-4-1 is that Donny's on the right. He'll link up with Bruno. We've seen Bruno and Donny link up. It's been very good. We've seen Pogba and Fred link up. It's been very good. Pogba, Martial links up very good. Martial and Bruno links up very good. The problem I have with I'm not saying Rashford shouldn't be involved, but I'm thinking at this moment, for some reason, the formation like that shows up the defense because that's where we're very weak, and it kind of shows up our attack as well because we have our better players in midfield playing on that field. We don't, it's not just 2 of the other. I feel like that complements, and I feel like that midfield complements Pogba as well. You're not asking Paul Pogba really to defend them more.
I feel like for Paul Pogba, it's perfect. I think Paul Pogba needs to play in a position where he doesn't have to recover whatsoever. But how are we playing, though? Are we sitting back and then countering? Because I think we can do that. And I think if we do that, we're going to see Fred and Donny not really on the wing a lot and more central. Or are we pressing high? And if we're pressing high, I'm worried about how people pick us apart and Manchester should be left alone in that midfield, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. We've never tried it. It's just an idea. The second idea was, I don't know what you call this, boys. I won't lie to you again. I was just thinking, I don't know what you call this, but I don't know if you can see this one, right? But basically, it's got David there, same defense. Shaw, Victor, Axel, Tonzebe, Matic holding again, so Matic, but now it's more of a compact midfield because now you've got Fred, Bruno, and Donny just ahead of Matic, but Pogba is basically in the 10, and then literally Martial. So it's very narrow. So I don't really like it that much. But again, I feel like it's got our best players in it, and it reassures the defense. And attacking-wise, I think it could work because it suits Pogba and it suits Martial. Because last night, it's almost like Pogba will have free roam. Then there's no excuse for Pogba to be defending. If you play it in that, I don't know what you call it. It looks like a 4-1-3-1-1. That's what it looks like on paper. That's what it is. So I don't really like it, but it's an idea that could work.
It's a 4-4-1-1.
4-4-1. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, so 4-4-1. That's why it's really cool. So that's another interesting, again, Fred and Donny in the preferred position, Pogba in his preferred position, Bruno, we love Bruno in that 10 and stuff, but again, I wouldn't mind be opposed to Bruno being there. And like I said, I still rate Paul Pogba. So obviously, I think the differences between the way we would go is that I don't mind Paul Pogba being dropped. But at the moment, I also want my defensive midfielders, the midfielders I know I can trust to be playing. So it's like you can only play 11 men. You can only play 11 men. And something that Ricky said last night on the United stand is that, and it actually hit me because it was brilliant. I never thought, is that when Oli made those substitutions last night against Istanbul, basically threw the kitchen sink at it. Brought on Greenwood, Cavani, basically all the strikers. And it was like, but Mark, sometimes when you're a striker, you want to have space. And I was thinking, bloody hell, you're right. I was thinking when I play striker for my Indo team, I don't want partners. I won't lie to you. I like being a lone striker.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. I love having so many midfielders and defenders at the back of me that I know they're going to come up, they're going to go forward. I'm literally going to be in the center. You give me the ball, I'm going to whack it in. I love having the space because then, and then again, I think if Martial can do it as well. If there is a striker that can do it, I think Rashford would fail in the system. I think Greenwood could fail in the system, but I think when you have Martial in the system, it works wonders. So that hit me. I was like, you're right. And you want the midfielders to have space, and I think when we have a midfield like this, it could work very nice. If you want position, I think that second formation I showed, if you want to be on the ball position, that could work very well. But the width is very questionable. There's ways around it. Because like I said, Fred and Donny can basically be our wingers. And I don't want the fullbacks really to go that much higher, personally, because I think that causes us big problems. But yeah, that's
definitely have to kind of force us out to play as wing backs instead of defensive fullbacks where they do shine, though. That is the main issue with playing a narrow formation.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing that with the diamond right now as well.
No, definitely.
But I feel like with Ole last night, I feel like when you're putting in attackers that early, that's worrying. Because I understand it in the 90th minute where there's nothing else to do. But when it's like, what was it, the 60th minute or so, or 70th minute, when you're doing it that early, I don't have a plan B in this situation to attack these niggas. So now I'm just throwing in everything.
PSG.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that something will happen, and I'm hoping for individual brilliance. So that's seriously worrying. But if you're asking for my opinion, information, look, I know the diamond didn't work midweek, but for me, the number one thing that needs to happen in Manchester United now is consistency. And as I said, I don't want to see the counter anymore. Yes, it was poor during the week, but you don't just move away from it after 2 games of trying to make it your main formation and make it your main style. I think we should be playing more on the ball, we should be pressing higher, and we should keep playing with the formation, which I think gets the best out of us. We need to give it game time, and that's seriously my opinion.
Now, the other thing is, like, if we were to play, like, lots of people have been saying 4-4-2 as well. If you play 4-4-2, obviously Rashford comes back, and I don't mind 4-4-2. It used to be one of my favorite formations as well.
The diamond could also be a 4-4-2.
But that's but I honestly don't think Oli and these coaches have the brain to coach a diamond, because a diamond is complex. It's very complex. But even the 4-1-4-1 is complex. Football can be a basic game. Yeah, but let's just stick to it, right? 4-4-2. Proper old school Oli, you lived in that formation. You breathed that formation, right? You don't have wingers. We can't play 4-3-3, but whoa, curtains if you play 4-3-3. I'm telling you, that's my favorite formation. I would love to tell you 4-3-3 straight, same. One whole week.
We don't have any wingers. That's the issue.
We technically don't have wingers. So
yeah.
For me, at this moment in time, I think the 2 most basic formations will be the diamond. We've seen that he struggles with it. But it would be going back to what we've been doing for a long time, is playing 4-2-3-1. Because if you think about the formation, it's not complicated whatsoever. It's the back 4, it's the 2, one sits and goes forward a bit, and the others just do what they do. And I think the major change I would make in that is playing Donny next to maybe Matic or Fred instead of Pogba, because I think Pogba's very weak defensively. I think Donny has the ability to push forward effectively and still be good defensively. So yeah, that's the change I would make if we did go back to that.
Yeah, but that's my next question actually. So I showed you a 4-1-4-1 that becomes basically almost like a 4-3-3 when we're off the ball, but it's a very defensive 4-3-3. You know, Matic, Fred, and Donny come back when we don't have the ball, right? I showed you that. But then it was a 4-1-4-1 when we were attacking. You know, then Pogba, Bruno, Donny, Fred, Tony go for it. But it doesn't have Rashford, like we said. It doesn't have Rashford. So if we were to put Rashford into this team, we've seen the diamond, right, guys? We've seen it. He played the diamond once. He played the diamond right once. Yeah, he literally played the diamond right once. That was against Leipzig. The diamond was perfect that game. I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm so confused on what's going to happen. I don't know what Ollie's going to play in this game. I don't know what formation he's going to play. Another formation people are going to say
is actually he's going to play, in all honesty. I think he's going to be playing the 5-back, in all honesty.
I think so too.
Yeah. So that was my next point. I was going to say that honestly, the other formation people on our fan base said that's our best, and we have no choice. It's 5 at the back.
Mm-hmm. I'll be seriously worried. Seriously. Because you're the manager of Manchester United. You made a decision that we're going to play the diamond now. So you need to be confident that you can fix this diamond and we can thrive under it. Now you lose one game in the Champions League and you want to go back to the 5. That just screams what's going on at Manchester United. That just screams that you're not good enough. So
that's when we were at our best, honestly. That's the thing, though. The 5
the thing is, guys, though, I feel like
I don't
giving
like
up on the diamond.
I think it's but me also. You know what my problem is, Wolf? I love the diamond. I think that's our best. Yeah. But I feel like we have idiots coaching and drilling this diamond. I haven't seen that diamond in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I didn't see that diamond. The only time I actually seen it was against Leipzig, and that was spot on. Then after that, I don't know what he's done.
Think of it like this:
wrong players in the diamond, or just it wasn't there at all.
Think of it like this: the only 2 games the diamond worked was when PSG was pushing up, so we could counter them with it, and Leipzig, who were pushing up in general in the game. So it worked in those situations. In situations where we have to play against a team that plays a positional press or sits back, it hasn't worked. But I don't feel it's something you just say, okay, I've tried 2 or 3 games, I just gave up on. No, manager Manchester United should be able to go, I will fix this. And I want to believe Ole has that mindset. And I think that's what's supposed to happen. We need consistency at this club. We can't be changing formations game in, game out.
I think so as well. But the only way difference is that I don't think Ole's good enough to do it. In fact, I've seen it. I've seen it in the last 2 games. Where was the diamond? Someone forgot. I've been asking that question every day. What formation were we playing? I don't know what formation we play. I don't know what formation we play. I don't know what everyone's roles is. And now I'm even thinking. That's why I put up that 4-1-4-1 because it's got Donny, it's got Matic, it's got Pogba, it's got Bruno, it's got Martial. It doesn't have Rashford. Is Rashford really that vital to the team? I don't know. Yeah, and even worst case, even if the game isn't going well, you could bring Rashford. You could literally just Rashford for Pogba and then change it again. Then you go back to a diamond or something. You can do it. It's football. You can change it in the split seconds. You can change it. One change and you can literally change the whole. So I don't know what Oli has to do here. Actually, I do know what Oli has to do here. Whether or not he does it, doubt it. I would love for him to keep the diamond, but will he actually play the diamond and not do this nonsensical things where now I see Bruno as a right wing, and then he's a false 9, now he's a striker, now he's a CDM, now he's box to box, now he's Cam, and then I see Pogba left mid, then left wing, then in Cam. That's not the diamond. Look, the whole point of a diamond is the shape. That is the whole point of the diamond.
I get you, but I feel like unless we want to keep seeing Oli out every week and seeing him Poch in, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And if we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, we have to believe that this formation needs time. So that's where I'm at right now.
But the thing is, the formation doesn't really need time. The 5-back's basically an adaptation of the diamond. It's a diamond, but it's just extra defensive. Yeah, that's all it is. It's the exact same thing. It's for a weaker coaching staff, I guess you could say. Because it's easier to coach 5 defenders versus 5 attackers.
I get you. But I feel like what I'm trying to preach right now is consistency. And I don't want to see us chopping in and chopping out. Definitely. So do you want us to switch to the 5 at the back and just play 5 for the rest of the season because you think that's the best formation?
Not. But that's probably the way forward. That's probably the only way Oli keeps his job. That's probably the only way we pick up points.
I think if Oli...
That's the issue.
When Oli is... We've seen it before. When Oli is shit scared of his job, back 5. That's what he does.
I get you. Yeah, I get you guys, but
But you know what the problem now with the back five, there is a problem because I can't tell you if Tellez is fit to play. Tellez is fit.
So the
only
only
if they're
issue
back
was
five.
he got a
Random
positive
news.
COVID test again before the game, so he wasn't allowed to come yet. The test hasn't come back negative yet. It hasn't come out of his system. So if he
It's the
gets
same
that
thing like
negative
Ronaldo.
test, yeah, then he can come.
And then, oh, you know, I was so pissed off yesterday, but Ollie did speak about Lindelof as well yesterday. Why I didn't bring on Lindelof and why I brought on Scott. I don't know if it was an injury or something. And let me actually check quick. But, you know, we might not, what I'm basically saying is we might not have enough defenders to play the five at the back. And that could be a problem this year at Man United. But,
It's fine. Don't worry. Scott's
Semenza.
just waiting to happen.
hey, you know, for Semenza, here we go, Lindelof update.
Like a match
Did it
played. I think he's capable.
I think he's capable, but it's not ideal. I'd
It's
rather
two
see
fridges
Mengs.
next to each other. That's the thing. We're gonna have two fridges next to each other. Luke Shaw. That's not exactly good defense, you know.
Yeah, he's
we'll put
nursing-
Zebe in between of them.
Nursing a
We'll
back
marshal up
problem.
defense.
He's nursing a back problem. Yeah, that's what it says. Oh, you know, it's just actually it's a joke. You know, it's a joke. I'm closing the thing. It's a joke. So keep that in mind. We might not have Tellez, and now we might not have Lindelof, which and I literally put Lindelof in all my teams.
All
Lindelof
crashing
and
down.
Panzer. It's the beginning of the end is what I'm going to say. But you know, so you know, let's get into it because I think Everton will play a standard 4-3-3. I think because that's what they play most of the time. I think especially if they have Palmer's back, it'll be a 4-3-3. But I think it'll be a 4-3-3 that sits back.
Yeah.
It'll be
It'll
very
trying.
compact and backwards, and then he doesn't have a break. I think that's what we'll see. So, Manchester United's predicted 11. We'll start off with the formation, boys. Keeping in mind Lindelof looks like he's nursing a back problem. Keep in mind he rested Twanzebe. Keep in mind Tellez might not be there. Yeah. So I'm gonna say the diamond again. I think Ollie will go with the diamond again, but I think he will fail this game.
And I have to agree. I think if it were other players, he would have ran to the game. But I don't think he has enough players to play it. So I think he will keep the diamond and try to find consistency somewhere.
I think it's kind of just if Tellez is we play the back five. If he isn't, we'll play the diamond. I think that's just where we're at right now.
But also Lindelof. If Lindelof's not fit, we can't play a back five.
I feel like there's a low-key shout.
We can make it work, you know. That's the thing.
There's a low-key shout for 4-2-3-1. I think there is a scenario where he goes back to his basics.
Yeah, some people are like, why?
Don't work. That's the thing. The basics haven't.
I mean,
worked
are you
for a
really
while.
gonna go back to Greenwood and then Rash-ish? It was great when it was working.
Palace,
Oh,
4-3.
yeah, it's just a mess at the moment. We can't predict all this.
6-1 Spurs.
Yeah, so you know, but anyways, De
It's
Gea
not
obviously
4-2.
comes back in the team. We're all gonna play Wan-Bissaka, so you can just move from there. Defensively, I would play Twanzebe
Actually,
and
no.
Lindelof.
Sorry. I'm changing. He's gonna play 4-2-3-1.
Okay, cool. So I got Diamond. There we go. When I got Diamond, Wilson's got 4-2-3-1, and Clayton's got back five. Right. So obviously, we'll just have to defense. Defense for me, De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm giving what I would play, right? But I would play Lindelof and Axel. Maguire just not it. But I think you will play Maguire and I don't know who else. Don't know how Lindelof is, and I think Luke Shaw will be there. So expect something like that. Expect Luke Shaw, Maguire, Twanzebe, and
He's going to make his professional debut. Mark these words.
I would love it. I don't think it'll work for Ali, but I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, never mind. Let's see.
But yeah, Mano, to your defense.
Obviously, keeper has to be there. Back four, yeah, I think at least we're going to get to see Twanzebe play, which would be great. But he'll be playing next to the fridge, Harry Maguire, and it'll be Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, of course.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Yeah. So I think my back five would probably just be De Gea, Wan-Bissaka. We're definitely going to see the fridge make a return. No question about that. Shaw's definitely going to be left side centre back, and right side centre back. It could be anyone. Looks like he hates Axel at this point. So
Yeah, it
don't
honestly
know.
looks like he hates Axel.
Ziyech, 45 minutes, and he just did everything
We don't
he
have
could.
Baye,
You know?
by the way. We don't have Baye, and Phil Jones and Rocco is not concluded in the squad. So that's what I'm saying. We might not have enough defenders to play five at the back.
Yeah. So I would play Twanzebe, obviously, but we could play Mengi if Lindelof's fit. He was on the bench, so he's clearly not out. So maybe we see Lindelof fine for the Everton game, and then that's our back line, which we've seen multiple times. It isn't too bad. And then obviously Tellers, which is big if, depending if the test comes back negative, and if it does, I think he starts.
Yeah, I think if Tellers is clear, 100% he's starting.
Wait, but has he been training though?
Yeah.
You can't train with people.
You can't train with people, but he's been training
alone. But is he ready to play a match though in that instance?
He would be.
I think so. Yeah, I think if he came negative, he could play. I think definitely.
Yeah.
And he was at Carrington actually. He was at Carrington, so it is what it is with that. Midfield for the Diamond. Matic. See, that's why I want. That's why I want to play a 4-1-4-1 because my favorite midfield is blank. But if I play the Diamond, it has to be Matic, it has to be Fred, it has to be Donny, and it has to be Bruno at the sphere. So that's what it is. Good luck with your midfield, though, boy. Yeah, good luck with your one.
This is hard. I'm trying to get it to Ollie's head.
Matic, Bruno, Rashford, Greenwood.
I'm gonna go with Fred, Donny, and Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, Fred. Yeah, that's sucks.
Yeah. Something you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so my midfield three, I would like to see Matic again, definitely, but I need him next to Fred. I think that's simple.
Yeah, the Matic works when he has Fred. That's the vibe.
I think Matic Fred next to Fred. That's a good partnership, and it's definitely something we need to build off of. We need Fred to get this running again. He needs to keep his consistency up. He needs to be that player that stood up for us before we got Pogba back, before we got Bruno. He needs to be that player again. Because he's been very good when he's been good. Like, he's one of the best players on that team when he is good. And I think we should play him a bit more and give him as much game time as possible. Like, as much as I'd like Donny, Matic needs the support. He definitely can't do it alone anymore. I think he's just been outclassed when he was by himself last night specifically. And then he obviously shifted to centre back, so there's not exactly too much to say about that.
All I is that, if we don't see Donny start this game, we are in big trouble.
Yeah. It also depends on the system, because it's like a Donny and a Fred midfield partnership, that sounds ideal in all honesty, but I don't know if they're going to work together as basically the two holdings.
But yeah, it sounds great, and we always preach to Ollie to try it, but now it's not the time. Now it's not the time.
Now it's definitely the time. We have to go to safety. We definitely have to go safe. We have to make sure defense is protected.
I say that because I think he'd be looking to go back to the two holding midfielders, and maybe McTominay and Fred he seems to like. But after the way Donny played during the week, I don't know if he can drop him. If he does, they'll be up.
The wall, but he cares.
Yeah, the wall. I honestly don't think Ollie cares about Donny van de Beek. I think we will. Honestly, I think we, guarantee players. We all saying players he needs to pick, and we would like to see. But I think guarantee your ass that people like Scott McTominay is starting against Everton. People like Maguire is definitely starting against Everton. I wouldn't put it past.
I don't know.
Or Daniel James.
Ole can be stubborn, but he likes his job at Manchester United, and I think he will recognize that Donny played well during the week, and he has to play. I think those will be the breaking points.
Scott starts in all honesty, and I think we probably see Scott and Fred again in all honesty as the two central midfielders. We probably go back to that, which I'm not looking forward to because Fred carries that partnership way too hard in most of the time that he plays like that. But ahead of him is obviously going to be Bruno, and that's going to be the midfield three.
Yeah.
And then obviously our strikers, well, it has to be Martial. For me, actually, I'm playing Mason Greenwood. I won't lie to you. I am dropping Rashford. I'm going to play Martial and I'm going to play Mason Greenwood. I feel like Rashford, especially, he has been playing a lot, so it's part of that. And I just think, Rashford off the bench could be very dangerous. We've seen how Rashford off the bench. So, yeah, for me, it will be Martial and Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, I think we're going to go back to the OG front three. It's going to be Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood.
I used to love that front three, I used to love it.
Now can be very exciting.
Yeah. Now I just don't know, because that front three comes at a big cost at the back.
Yeah.
I think that logic comes down to not having actual wingers. That's the issue. Because sad to say, Dan James is our best winger at the club, if we want to put it that way.
Only
That's,
winger.
yes, he's basically our only winger. That's the sad thing. So we can force strikers to play out wide, but they're not going to help defensively whatsoever. And then whatever Ollie's doing with the overlapping
And I don't back
fullbacks.
Ollie to coach. Yeah, that's the thing. And I don't back Ollie to coach those Rashford and Green to tell them come back in. And I don't expect Ollie to coach Wan-Bissaka and them to say don't go forward. Please don't, for the life of God, don't go forward. Stay back. I just don't. He can, like I said, he's done it before now and then, surprising us. But my goodness, the inconsistency is ridiculous. But yeah, so I think there really is nothing to you. None of us can really give you a certain dead on. Probably that looks like Ollie would play that. It's very mixed at the moment. We'll have to see what happens against Everton this weekend. But also, gentlemen, the most tricky part: score prediction.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first, bro.
It's on the basis of not knowing what we're gonna do really, and how unpredictable we can be. I think Everton's gonna win 3-1. I think they're gonna have too much for us.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Tell the third hat-trick, boys.
Imagine. The man shoots enough to be able to get a hattie, so like, it can happen. It can definitely happen. It depends how informed De Gea is for sure. It's going to dictate the result. If De Gea has a bit of a bad game,
I'd say that a draw is not good enough as well. Just to be quick, a draw is not good enough. I think he still should be sacked if we got a draw. Yeah, it's a win. It's 100% a win. Yeah. So,
I lost 3 games, including this Everton game, obviously. Must-have wins, and we haven't won one of them.
We haven't won one of them, yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Chelsea or not, but yeah. It's not good. I think we lose this, in all honesty, again. If we play anywhere near the football that we played for the past 2 weeks, we lose this, and Ancelotti carves us apart. I don't even know if we score at this point against a weak Everton defence, and that's a sad thing to say. But we barely managed to create a chance against Istanbul, so I don't know. I could see us going on a bit of a gold run right now, as weird as it sounds. So I would say maybe a 2-0 loss. I don't back the boys right now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, me also. I'm also going to go with loss, by the way. But I think we will score. I just, like I said, my only faith in this team, if I have to look at positives, is people like Bruno and people like Martial, people like Donny, and Fred. Those are where my faith lies. So I think we will score. But again, I just think we're just too sus, and I just don't know what Ollie's going to do. So I think we'll lose 2-1. And I think, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a striker in form, and he's a type of striker that plays into our weaknesses. Very good in the air. None of our players are good in the air. He's quite fast on the break. He's a proper target man. He's lethal in front of goal. If someone like Demba Ba can pick us apart like that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin can easily
35-year-old.
Yeah, so I think
it's the first time
so
with L's from everyone. Yeah. We all think the team's gonna lose.
Knowing Ollie, they'll probably go smash them 5-0. But we moved, fam. We moved. If Ollie can go win 10-0 tomorrow, and I'll still be Ollie out because I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. So it just is what it is. I think his time is done. I think the players are not playing for him. I think the players don't look like they know what they're doing. It looks like the managers don't know what they're doing. So yeah, I think it's just a nightmare. I think Everton will be a little bit too much. I think it depends on Ollie's stubbornness, arrogance, and we'll just have to see what happens in the game. It's a must win for sure. Draw not acceptable. A loss definitely not acceptable. If he loses, this is my final question before I end off. If he loses against Everton, not what we will do, but do you think he gets fired?
It depends how we lose. I think if Everton put 5 past us, I think he might be packing his bags.
Yeah, I think I can see where you're coming from. I think I could agree as well. It probably depends how badly we lose.
Okay, let's say we lose like yesterday, like Istanbul. We lost like yesterday, because that's what I'm expecting to lose the same like that.
This board won fine. They don't seem interested. They're gonna push it until the breaking point.
This board is just whack. It's beyond whack, and you never know with them.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. That and I'm gonna end it off like that. Whether you Ollie in or Ollie out, just remember we are all Glazers out. That is the main thing.
Yeah.
They are the proper cancer virus.
We wouldn't be in this situation
we wouldn't be in this. Ollie wouldn't be in this situation in the first place if we had better owners. So
Yeah, because
yes, it's Ollie's fault. You know? Yeah, exactly. He'll be back in Norway, but our hands are tied behind our back. And like I said, if in my opinion, it's just my opinion. If there was a manager I would give time to, it would be Pochettino. So that's just where I am. Whether or not Poch can win us league title and stuff, I don't think so, especially under this board. But do we stand better chances to do better? Yes, and that's just where I am. I want United still to win games, and I don't think there's Poch. That's what it just comes down to, innit? I can't even tell you what formation we're playing. So that just sums it all up. But yeah, like I said, smash the like on the video. Do subscribe if you are new. Our history against Everton's not looking good. We've lost twice to Everton.
Especially at Goodison Park.
Especially at Goodison Park, yeah. Our away, and if we lose away, that's our away run part basically as well. Yeah. The one thing we have going on is our away form, but we've lost away yesterday. It's not looking good for Ollie. I think if you are Ollie out, it's looking very good. If you're Ollie out and still want us to lose against Everton, then I don't know. I still don't want us to lose against Everton.
Go support someone else, guys.
Go support someone else. If you're Ollie out and still want us to lose, that's not it. Ollie will sack himself. He's showing he'll sack himself. So it's out of our hands. We'll just have to see what happens. And yeah, hopefully, actually, I don't know. I say hopefully we have a good show on Saturday. But
I feel like, sorry, before we leave, I feel like the sackings are usually done to the players. I feel like once the players completely lose faith in the manager, that's when he goes.
And I think we've seen it. I I feel like the players yesterday didn't look like they cared. Yeah, that's when I seen Bruno not shouting, when I seen Bruno just looking like he was frustrated, that's when I was like, oh no. And when I see people like Donny going off, I'm like, oh no, this is the end. So I think it is the end, especially at the beginning.
Can you really? You can't blame him and say maybe the integrity. You should back your manager no matter what. But we saw the Mourinho. Once it's toxic, can you blame the players just saying, let's get rid of this man? I don't know. I can kind of reason with it from a certain point of view.
So yeah, like I said, if you are new, subscribe, smash a like on the video. Let's see, we all predicted a loss. Let's see what happens on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. Very interested to see. We are in interesting times. We're in dark times.
Wrong.
Yeah, try to stay positive and just remember Glazers out more than anything else, more than anything else. And yeah, from me, Maloto and Clayton, we will check you in the next one.